So my name is Robert McCann. I'm an electrician with Allwest Electric. I'm also part of the safety committee that we have. So I'm one of the Josh committee members for the company, and also one of the recruiters. I go around and do the meet and greets for any of the school districts, for yourself, for Sprott-Shaw, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Perfect. What does your organization do?
So we're electrical contractors. We do new construction, such as high rises, wood frame, in residential, commercial base building is what we do. So base building is just giving them minimal power. We do electrical, like I mentioned, but we also do fire alarm, access control, which is what I do. I do access control. I like the finer detail things. I've moved on to something different. And the other thing is we take people's, our employees' safety very, very, very seriously. We have a great OH&S program that we run as a company. So yes.
I think that makes perfect sense, especially when you're in trades, right? Safety is like number one.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
And just, I always say to the guys, and we have 2 injuries going on right now that happened over the last 2 days with some cut fingers. I'm the representative. I'm the bridge between management and the employees that we have. And it's just super important to make sure that we're looking out for, especially with all the young kids that are coming up.
Yeah.
So these, my son, for example, 17 and works for us. He was lucky enough to do what he's doing now. So it's great. We really all have to make sure we're doing a good job with that. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I guess doubling back to our students and whatnot, what sort of experience would a practicum student expect to gain at your organization?
Absolutely. So working within a team environment, huge, right? And I think that goes to say with any company you work for, you kind of have to be a team player. We're also a family-oriented company. So as a practicum student, I would expect a person or a student to gain experience from many different areas. The biggest opportunity, especially in electrical, is to know what material is needed for the job. We have a lot of different little things that you need to learn the names for. So the first week, a student may organize material, clean, help with deliveries, and just getting used to their surroundings. As the weeks progress, they would be assisting in different areas of the building, giving them a different exposure or wide exposure to different things that are going on. And then once we start seeing the student feeling comfortable, and that's huge, right? In their environment, they start to gain a little bit of independence depending on the needs of the site. So they may be assigned to a specific area of the building, such as roughing or finishing, where there's people that are always around to kind of answer their questions or help them out. They do very, very basic work. And then, but really, I guess in the end, it's all about the student, right? At times we see students struggle that are coming in, and one area that they may not feel comfortable in, we'll move them in somewhere else because we don't want to give up on them, right? You really have to try out different areas until you get comfortable about where you are and where you're working. Really, really important. And again, we want to see the students successful, and we want to make sure, and I want to reiterate that attitude is everything. Right? It really is, right? There's always going to be something that you're not going to want to do, and something that's not going to be really a great task to do, and it just has to get done, right? And even at my stage, 10 years in, there's still things I hate doing, right? But who does, right? There's always something that we're not going to enjoy, right? But, I'm always a big believer in taking those tasks that you don't like and doing them first just to get them out of the way, right? And then move on to the things that you do really enjoy. So, yeah.
What sort of duties would you expect a practicum student to be responsible for? I know you mentioned they develop as they go to do different things.
Yeah, the biggest thing that we really do for the people that are coming in, we pair them up, obviously, right? Someone will get paired, especially the newer people, get paired with someone who has quite a bit of construction experience. So, for example, if there was, if I had a phone call for a delivery, I'd be like, hey, you know what? This is how we're going to go out and get a delivery. This is how you're going to inventory things. This is how you're going to count off the packing slip and make sure everything's there. It really gives a person an idea of what kind of material is coming in. We probably have, I've been told, and I'm just going to repeat this, that we have the most material of any other trade, because we have so many little bits and pieces of things that come together. It's not just electrical. There's a lot of prefabbing, a lot of stuff like that. So to answer your question, they would assist in organizing material, like I had mentioned, putting away the material, understanding where to find the material, because there's 4 different lockups throughout the building, right, that carry different things, and how would you know? General cleanup, so keeping, the area clean, making sure they get a respirator or a mask or whatever it is. But we want to see them feel comfortable. And that's really, really important, because we need them to succeed, right? And later on, I'll share with you, like, I'm done in 10 years, right? I need these guys to be as good as me in 10 years, right? And someone to take over for me, because we need people, right? So, and there needs to be people that care and are passionate. So, yeah, anyways, I think that answered it a little bit.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the demand for trades, and especially electrical, is huge. So 100%.
It is. And just so, like, once we start seeing them feel comfortable, right, and succeeding at the level that they're at, and everybody learns differently, we add a little bit more responsibility, right? We just kind of layer it, and it works well. It really does. And we, like I said, we just want to see them grow. Right? We want to be able, I want to see them get their ticket in 4 years or 5 years or whatever it is, right? We need that. So, yeah, there you go. Sorry.
Absolutely. Thank you. No, that's a great answer. I guess, you're an expert in the field. What advice do you have for people looking to enter the electrical field?
Okay, so definitely not an expert, right? There's so much of our job to learn, right? But thank you. Positive attitude. Number 1, positive attitude. Be prepared to work hard. Show up to work 10 minutes early. So if your job site starts at 7, you're there at 6:50, sitting down, whatever, on your phone till 6:55, and you're getting yourself organized. That does not go unnoticed, okay? For every shift, expect the unexpected, and construction changes daily. So you're assigned a task that maybe was supposed to happen yesterday that your supervisor told you. The day you show up thinking you're going to do that task, 50% of the time that's not what's happening, right? So really just understand that there's structure, but sometimes things take over. But I cannot stress enough showing up 10 minutes early, right? And especially they notice this. And piece of advice for some of the kids that are out there: you want to get ahead, show up 30 minutes early. Pull out a set of prints, look at the prints of what you did the day before, ask questions, because people will always answer your questions, so that you get ahead, right? And I did that for 2 years. I showed up at 6:15 every morning to teach myself everything that I was doing for that day. And, you have to take it. The learning doesn't stop.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways.
It sounds like attitude, being proactive, and also adaptable, right?
Completely. Yeah, so.
Perfect. I know you mentioned you had an experience with a recent Spratshaw student. I'm guessing you've had multiple students over the year that you've worked with, potentially. Is that the case?
From Spratshaw, yes. Yeah. I personally haven't, but I do know that we have had multiple students over the course of the last 2 or 3 years. And every once in a while, you bump into someone who's working for us, and you're like, oh, where'd you go to school? And they'll be like, oh, Spratshaw. Oh, and
yeah.
Oh, so did I, kind of thing. But yeah, so yeah, absolutely. So I have seen some of the students that have come through, and I know that every once in a while we get a student saying, oh yeah, I'm going to Spratshaw for school next week, kind of thing. So I always make it a personal goal of teaching people, right? And I always try to instill that in the guys that are working with the newer people. Teach them one new thing a day, no matter how small it is, right? Whether or not you open up a set of prints, which is huge, right? Because it's very overwhelming. And just looking at the set of prints and being like, we're standing right here. this is how you can tell why we're standing here. Here's this, here's this, here's this. And kind of going over it 2 or 3 times, right? In the course of the day, the week, whatever it is, just so that they feel comfortable with being one thing. Something new every day is huge. And in the early stages, really in the early stages of the person's career or the student's career, it's not about speed. It really isn't. It's about the quality of work and making the work look really nice. I always say, we're tradespeople. Electricians are one of the most educated trades on site. Act like it, right? Make your work look like you care. Right? And it's really important. The speed will come later. Don't worry about the speed, right? And I had mentioned my 17-year-old kid, same thing. He's thinking he's so slow, right? Because he's watching the other guys that have 15, 20 years experience, right? And constant daily conversation. Don't worry about it. Make your work look nice, right? The speed will come. So huge, right? And for the new, be patient with themselves, right? Don't get it. It's frustrating sometimes. Be patient. Right? And a lot of these kids that are coming in, it's their first job. So sometimes we have to kind of coach that a little bit, right? Yeah. There you go.
I guess for a final question, would your organization consider hosting or hiring more Sprott Shaw students in the future? And why do you feel that way?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Right across the board, whether it be Sprott Shaw or other schools, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And why? We're all looking for tradespeople. We're all looking for tradespeople. A lot of, first years or lower or pre-apps are coming through, but I see a lot of kids that we are hiring and looking at that don't have any schooling yet. So I really hope that, for their career, for Sprott Shaw and how well they're doing with sending out some of these people, because again, you guys have teachers that care, but yeah, we would definitely hire people from Sprott Shaw. Absolutely. And the next hiring fair, not sure when you guys have one, but I'll be there. I definitely will be.